Hey everybody, this is Taylor here, WildLion Games, and I've got a review for the UFC 2 beta. Now I'm gonna go in depth for the game from what I could play through the beta. I'm not gonna be too critical because it is the beta, and they had a different lot of modes locked. But the first thing I want to say is I really like what I see. I liked what I played. There are some things that I didn't like, and I'll discuss those first because I do want to end this, beta review on a positive note. I'm really thankful that EA messaged me and invited me to the closed beta and gave me a code. I had a lot of fun playing the game. I'm pretty sure when it comes out, I'll have positive things to say about it overall, because so far I like what I see. Now here you can see we're in the beta menu. A lot of the stuff is locked up, so you can't do knockout mode, online rivalries, ranked championship, career mode. And this is a lot of stuff that we've seen before. Career mode, ranked championship, your fighter net, online rivalries. Those are all old modes. Hopefully they've been improved. I don't know if they have or not, but I'm assuming they have, and I really hope so. Knockout mode is new. Didn't get to play it because, as you can see, it's locked. But it sounds pretty interesting, and it's basically, as it says in the description, classic King of the Couch. So I don't even know what that is. And then live events and custom events is also something that's pretty new, and I'm interested to check that out when we get to it. Right now, the only mode I can play is Quick Play Online and Ultimate Team. Basically, what we're doing here is I'm just showing you guys the controls through some fighting sequences. The controls are basically the same: X, Y punch, and A and B kick. Hold the left trigger for body shots. Hold the left bumper for more advanced shots. Blocking's a bit different, I believe. I can't remember from the first UFC, but right bumper's block high, right trigger's block low. And then if you press, X, A, Y, or B as they're punching, you can do parry. Now, for my first issue of the game, this is big for me, is these two pictures here. As you can see, the first picture, he got bruises on his eye, his nose is cut open. And the second picture after I win the match, where is all that stuff? For the opening cinematic, they have great cut and bruises, graphics, and animations. And then when you actually get into the fight, it's dumbed down a lot. Now, it is better than last year's game. The cuts and bruises are a lot better than last year's game. So I will give it that. It has improved. But I'm still actually really disappointed because that Robbie Lawler and Roy McDonald fight, I don't know if you guys watched it over the summer, but that's the bloodiest fight I've ever seen, ever, in UFC boxing. I mean, it was almost disgusting how bloody it was watching that fight. And I think in their opening sequence for the game, they did a fairly good job capturing that. I know that's a really tough thing to capture because, Robbie Lawler's lip in real life, was completely torn open when he was talking in his interview afterward. His lip was moving, like opening in ways it shouldn't have been opening. And Roy McDonald's nose was just smashed in, so I understand it's hard to recreate that, but at the same time, I am disappointed that it looks so impressive in that opening sequence, like the still shots I showed you, and then when he actually got into playing, it wasn't really like that at all. So here, next we have, this is just your fighter net online. Looks, pretty much the same, except for the only difference I can notice is the accolades in the bottom left, and that's about it. So the only other negative I have for this video is presentation. So here you can see the end presentation after I beat Roy McDonald in the opening sequence. A nice little shot of the crowd, that's new. And the ring celebration with your corner, nothing new there. And here's my walkout. What's cool about walkout is you can actually customize it a little bit. You can basically pick your attitude or characteristics of one of the UFC fighters. I picked Ronda Rousey, and as you can see, that was kind of like the famous Ronda Rousey walkout. But otherwise, it's largely the same as last year. The commentary is pretty similar. The other thing I don't like, I'm including this in presentation, is how it seems like every round the fighters just kind of stand there really defeated, and it kind of takes me out of the moment. The highlights in between rounds are still really bland. The announcers don't say much. The ring girls are really cute, though. They did a good job with that. But in all seriousness, I am kind of disappointed in the highlights in between rounds, and the announcers are like, wow, look at that kick. Here, I'll just have you listen.
And here's another clean shot that lands. And another perfectly placed strike. A fight. It was outstanding. Back and forth. Excellent exchanges. Really exciting contest. And who knows who's going to be the victor of that one.
So, I mean, you get the point. Presentation hasn't really changed much. Not sure why EA kind of fails at presentation in all their sports games. They have all the money in the world and the resources in order to pull this type of stuff off, but it seems like all their sports games they fail to do so. So presentation, I'll admit, in my review, if it stays like it is now, they're going to lose points for that, because presentation is really disappointing, I believe. Not just ring entrance and after you win, but also just in between rounds when they're showing highlights. The shots of the crowds are cool, but again, it's nothing that's really crazy. And this right here is the championship. So I won the championship belt. And other than them putting a championship belt on my guy, the presentation, the post-fight presentation is literally the exact same. There's also this stuff, some glitches when I was pairing leg kicks. And that's not the same 3 leg kicks. That actually happened 3 different times during this fight. Another issue I have is while playing the computer in the Ultimate Team mode, the fighters aren't very active. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of testing it out. And they don't punch you a lot. They don't attack you at all. It's very frustrating. It's actually kind of hard to win because all the computer is doing is backing away from you. It's like trying to fight Floyd Mayweather or something. You're just moving around the ring, not throwing many kicks, not throwing many punches. But then when you get to the championship match, the AI becomes really aggressive. As you can see here, he's punching and kicking a lot. And I like it because it makes it a little bit tougher and more realistic than the AI just standing there. So now to the good stuff is the UFC Ultimate Team. I'll be honest, I was pretty skeptical when I saw this game mode. I was like, seriously, EA, you're just throwing Ultimate Team into everything now? How is it going to work with UFC? I don't really pay attention to UFC that much. I'm more, when the big fights come on, I watch them, but I don't know a lot about UFC. I don't know a lot about the fighters. But it actually sounds like it's going to be pretty cool. So basically all it is you have a team of 5 fighters and you create all of them. So you don't have to worry about picking real UFC fighters, and that's what I was worrying about. It's like, eventually everybody's team is gonna consist of like the same 5 fighters or a combination of the like same 10 fighters or something. So I was kind of happy that, you kind of get to create your own fighters, and everybody loves creating their own guys, so now you get to just create different variations and go with different strategies and different styles. So here, this is just going through the character creation. It's a tad improved from last year. There's a couple new hairstyles, otherwise everything is pretty much the same on how you create your guy. What else was I going to mention? Oh, the one thing I wish they would add into the fighter creation is your reach. Because I know that your body type that you end up picking has an effect on what your reach is going to be. And I wish they would have the reach displayed onto each body type. Because it's really difficult when you're a kickboxer and you only have a reach of 68 and everybody, even if they're the same height as you, has a reach of, 4 or 5 inches more. And I even had one fight where a dude had a 9-inch reach on me. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I wish there was a way to tell which body type will give you a decent reach. So here you can see I'm messing with the tattoo controls, and I'm not going to spell out the entire word. You guys get it. And then I was just kind of playing around to see all the possibilities of what you can do and move tattoos around. Gear's going to be pretty boring this year because of the new UFC deal with Reebok. But yeah, I mean, I think player, and here's the personality and walkout music stuff I was talking about earlier in the video. So back to Ultimate Team. Basically, how you upgrade your guys through opening card packs. So you open up a card pack and you get all these different skills, and the cards are laid out, and each one has something different. And Universal, there's different tiers too. There's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, and each one adds better attributes to your player or to your fighter. And the Universal one, basically, if you can see at the top of this card, says Universal. All that is no matter what your weight class, you can use that card. Other cards are specific to weight classes. The only thing I'm concerned about is the fitness boost level. Your fighter has a fitness rating and it drops down after every fight, and the only way to put it back up is by using a fitness boost card on him. And I haven't had this problem yet, but my only concern is, what if you buy a few packs and you don't really have any fitness? What if there's no fitness boost in there? I'm sure they have a system where that's not going to happen. Or what if you get really low on coins from buying a lot of fitness packs or a lot of card packs and you can't do fitness, all that good stuff. But you get the gist. And that's about it. So that's all I really got to say. I'm just gonna leave you guys here with some cool fighting videos, or cool segments from fights, and a couple knockouts here. I'll do a full review when the game comes out, and I'll go over more of gameplay because I'm sure you guys are really curious about gameplay. I know I didn't cover that a lot, but in my review when the game comes out, I'll talk about the gameplay, and I'll also talk about grappling and ground control, because the ground control has improved some and it's changed a little bit. Overall, it's the same controls, but there's now a heads-up display while you're on the ground and grappling with someone else. So I will talk about that in the final review of the game, but I figured I'd hold off on gameplay and all that other important stuff for the actual review. So hope you guys got an idea of what this game looks like. Hope you got an idea if you're gonna like it or not. And I guess I should let you guys know as well, this is coming from someone who I would just consider myself an average UFC fan. I'll watch the big fights, but I don't know everything about all the different fighters. And that's about it for me. Hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, let me know. And peace.